How do I apologize to someone for accidentally calling them a prostitute? Went out downtown last night with a couple of buddies and M21. I was ambushed by some girl who said hi and held onto my arm. I immediately said I don't have any cash as I thought she may have been a prostitute. It turns out it was one of my buddy's friends they invited and they wanted us to see if we were compatible with each other. She was very embarrassed from it and would barely look at me the entire night. I want to apologize to her. And your friends didn't think to mention this to you ahead of time? Did they think you wouldn't come if they'd tried to set you up with someone? I feel like I shouldn't have laughed as much as I did reading this and imagining it. Weary tears of joy, so embarrassing for her, and you really just pull her aside and say you're really sorry for assuming. You're just not used to beautiful girls touching you. Be honest and tell her you didn't know who she was and, presumably, by your experience, when a random woman suddenly grabs your arm so comfortably, she is a prostitute. Gotta say, hella weird that you weren't told about her. She clearly knew who you were. If you ever run into her again, just quietly pull her aside and apologize. Everyone says dumb shit. Even her. Everyone acting like you actually did something stupid is completely smooth-brained. If some random ass girl I've never seen before in my entire life suddenly appeared and latched onto my arm, I'd shake her off and be like, what the fuck, get off me. I'm sorry, but this made me crack the fuck up. I hope you marry her one day and she'll have a nice story to tell your kids. Found husband's Reddit about me. My 26F husband, 29M, made a Reddit about me, and his point of view is beyond scary. I don't want to link his post at this point, but to sum it up, he's stating that I woke him up after a very long shift on no sleep just to make me breakfast, and then I got mad when he said he was tired. My perspective is a wee bit different. He wakes up when I go to work either from my alarm, or our dogs. He never goes back to sleep after, ever. Today we woke up from my alarm and are cuddling for a good 30 minutes and it's really sweet, but then I realize I have no time before work and still have to get ready, make breakfast, feed our pets, we have a lot lol, and let them all out. I felt overwhelmed and asked if he'd make breakfast today. Not just for me, but for us both. Which I do try to do a few times a week and never ask him to. Anyhow, this turned into something because he did come downstairs to try to help when I was already rushing to finish everything and at that point didn't need it. He started asking me to understand he works so much, and I said I do. Truly I do. And I do a ridiculous amount of things for him constantly to make his life easier because he works so much. I'm not some asshole taking advantage, but sometimes I want to feel like I have a partner. I want to be able to ask for help when I'm overwhelmed. I never ask for anything like this seriously, but when I do I'm a bad guy for it. Honestly, this is really getting to me because I know he works a ridiculous amount and I agreed to maintain the house, but I feel like a maid at this point. I did get a part-time to help pay off our debt. And I keep our house immaculate. Schedule every little thing for him. Deal all bills, pets needs, etc. I'm not pissed because he didn't wake up and make me breakfast immediately while he's on no sleep. I'm mad because I say can you put your work bag away when you get home and I find it and all his work clothes taken off on our staircase, couch, bathroom floor every day still. I do silly little things to make his life easy, but I ask him to give our bird water for the first time literally ever and he tells me no, it's not his responsibility. And I'm trying my best to articulate this all to him, but after reading his Reddit post I can see I'm not heard at all by him, and he thinks of me as some irrational asshat. IDK guys, honest opinions are wanted here. Maybe I am the jerk. Thanks. He comes across as very whiny in his post. He sure likes throwing numbers around. How much he makes, how many hours he works versus how many you work, etc. Since he wants to quantify everything, maybe you should too. Write down how much time you spend cooking, cleaning, time on animal care, at work, etc. Most of what you do benefits him just like his work benefits you. Put it in a spreadsheet or write it down. He isn't the only person who is busy. You two really need to sit down together and talk about things. Right now you're both on Reddit venting and trying to get people to take your side. Try marriage counseling if neither of you is comfortable having a serious conversation. If conversation is not productive and he is still messy, leave his clothes where he dropped them, do not clean after him. See how he reacts. He probably does not even realize all the things you do around the house. He needs to learn to appreciate and value your work around the house. Maintaining basic order and putting his things away is not that hard. I was praying for this. It's interesting that he leaves so much of the story out. I am sorry you're going through this, I hope you figure this out. Your husband is a man-child. You need to decide if you want this as a partner the rest of your life. There's no way. I literally read your husband's post on Am I the Asshole loudly crying. Edit. Never mind. My husband, 41 male, admitted that he resents my, 41 female, job and I'm very angry. When my husband and I met, I earned more than him and was on a career track. He was working a dead-end job but was going to school to change fields and move into a more lucrative career. Now, over a decade and 2 kids later, he has moved into a good and stable career and earns a good living. My career really took off though, more than either of us could ever have imagined. I earn far more than him and have gained a small bit of notoriety within my field. My husband has always been very supportive of my career both in our marriage and externally, so I was shocked by this admission. We have been going through a rough spell, as couples do, and talking through our feelings. He said he felt that one of the issues we have is that people see me as the man of the house and that causes issues in our relationship. I countered that I can't help how people outside our relationship feel but that I don't see it that way. He kept talking about what other people thought, so I finally said, I'm not willing to quit my job or give up my career to make other people feel better about our relationship dynamics. That's when he admitted that he felt that way and that he's insecure about how successful I am. I tried to pivot to dig in more. Was it travel? I don't want to scale back but I'm willing to. I currently travel for a few days a few times per year. Was it transparency about finances or concerns about financial control? It's none of those things. He just feels emasculated by my success and I'm pissed off about it. He's come back and been really sweet and we've agreed to commit to some areas to improve things, and we've thus far stuck to it, but I can't move past how angry I am about this. I'm not being successful at him, I'm just successful, and he's certainly enjoyed the benefits of my success all while secretly resenting me for it. He's also successful by any objective measure, just not as much as me. How can I move past this anger? How do I know he doesn't continue to secretly resent me even if he says he doesn't? A note for anyone who suggests couples therapy: he is firmly against it as he thinks it's the first step towards divorce. He is directing his feeling of failure at you because it's easier to be angry at your success than admit he isn't where he wants to be. This is 100% about him, not you. Don't give up anything in your career. You don't need couples therapy. He needs individual therapy. This is firmly a him problem. A note for anyone who suggests couples therapy: he is firmly against it as he thinks it's the first step towards divorce. Well, this is the first step towards no divorce. I mean, he has some toxic masculinity ingrained in his way of thinking. How is he going to get out of that mindset without therapy? Can he do individual therapy? Therapy is about growth. He doesn't want couples counseling, because he knows he's in the wrong, and doesn't want to have to admit it openly to anyone else. He needs to go to therapy on his own to work through his irrational thoughts. Good luck. Being a woman is a lose-lose proposition. They want you to work and take care of the kids and house, but don't make too much money. Maybe you should get a divorce and start living life on your terms. I don't really mean it. I can tell you don't want to get a divorce. I'm just very mad about women are treated today. He sees himself as small, when he should be viewing your marriage as being a power couple. He's picturing himself as an ant and you as a giant, when he needs to start picturing you guys as Gisele Bündchen and Tom Brady. The people not viewing him as the man of the house are just jealous of your marriage and feeding him lies cause they don't want to see you guys happy. Grimace. They probably hate how good you guys have it. Sometimes friends don't like seeing their friend doing better than them financially or in their relationship. No mouth face. My girlfriend, 27, is saying that I, 25, can't watch certain shows. My girlfriend of 5 years is upset and concerned with me watching shows with specific aspects and themes throughout them. The list is mainly including shows that have violence, gore, rape, and nudity. It started years ago during Game of Thrones. She would watch with my family and I as we were invested into the series at the time. She would come to me and tell me that she was uncomfortable with the show and that I needed to look away when rape scenes would come on. I disagreed as it does not disgust me to that point. I don't think anything does. Mind you, I don't cheer for it or revel in the fact that it is there. It does make me uncomfortable, which I assume is the purpose of the scene, and the emotion to have to it. This has extended to other shows like The Boys, which I have not watched the newest season of as I did not want to stir up any commotion, as well as the newest one from the past few days, Peaky Blinders. I started Peaky Blinders as it was recommended and sounded interesting. We were both unaware of the show. After I mentioned I started watching a couple episodes, she immediately started looking it up and said, "You can't watch this." I was not asked to consider anything and the is bothersome. After some back and forth I agreed to just skip any rape scenes, the concern at the time. Then I was told to skip all sex scenes. Okay. Following to the next day, she's looking it up again and saying there is too much gore and that it's disgusting that I would watch a show like that. I'm being told that she's considering ending the relationship because I am interested in shows with those aspects and can't grow up to watch good shows. I understand that they are bad qualities. I am watching the shows for production and storyline, not for the torture, violence, gore, and rape. Personally, I don't think I should be disallowed to watch shows as such as I don't fantasize, look forward to, or get influenced by those scenes. With all of this, I am looking for perspective. Perspective for her side and for mine. I don't understand being so polarized on something like this, and I also don't understand myself enough to explain it any better to give an understanding. Too long did not read. My girlfriend is saying I can't watch shows with violence and rape scenes. I feel the opposite. Can you help me gain some perspective on both of our situations? She doesn't get to tell you what you can and can't do. This is controlling behavior that needs to be stopped. If you want to watch those shows, then you watch them. Has she given a reason as to why she's not comfortable with you watching these type of scenes? Does she think you're suddenly going to become abusive and rapey? I think you need to have a real conversation about this and tell her that you appreciate that she doesn't like it but that you are interested in watching these shows and you will do so. Out of respect for her wishes, you won't watch them when she's present. If she's adamant that you absolutely can't watch these shows, then I think it's time to end the relationship because controlling behavior is a no-go. My husband detests violence in films and TV. I adore programs like GOT and The Witcher. So I watch them and he doesn't. He's never tried to forbid me from watching anything. Today it is TV shows, tomorrow she is picking out your friends. Bruh, even if you were looking at the gore, not the rape, that's why surgery shows are popular. She needs to grow up to tolerate you watching drama shows like Peaky Blinders. There's a difference between her being uncomfortable and her dictating that you're uncomfortable. She doesn't have a side. She's being controlling because of her own hang-ups. Just leave. No one needs to deal with that kind of shit. You wouldn't be dumping her toxic ass over TV shows, it would be because of her behavior. It'll only get worse, dude, trust me. Find a different girlfriend. This one thinks she's your mom.